So in this module, what I am going to be discussing is a further elaboration of what we covered in our first set of sessions. As I told you before, okay, stories define who we are. The stories we tell show who we are, what we appreciate, what we condemn, what is good and what is bad for us. And it doesn't only speak to us as individuals, but it also reflects a much larger picture, namely that of our culture. The stories that we share reflect our worldview. The stories we love show the stuff that we are made of. Who we are shown in the stories that we appreciate and perpetuate, and that the stories we tell also define the generations that will follow. Okay, I'll give a concrete example. Okay, again, the best example I can think of is this movie, Hello, Love, Goodbye. Would you believe that this is the highest grossing Filipino movie as we speak? Uh, it practically broke all box office records, mainly because of three very good reasons. Number one, it's a good film. It's a good film of Kathy Garcia Molina. Secondly, it dealt with a subject matter which is very close to the hearts of Filipinos, namely that of the plight of the OFWs in Hong Kong. And number three, it had two of the biggest stars coming from competing or rival networks. I mean, you put the queen of one kingdom with the king of the other, put them together in the same project, and you are creating a supernova. But when we ask ourselves, what made this movie so popular? What did this movie deal with in terms of issues, okay, and social problems, which somehow related so much to the Filipino in the year 2020? Why did the audience relate so much to this story? Why did this story in the year 2019 earn so much, not only popularity, but respect for moviegoers? And that is because the story that this movie contained was so appropriate to the here and now of the time that it was shown. The story was not merely a reflection of the popularity of the two stars, but the importance and the significance of what the narrative had to say. In other words, when you ask yourself, what makes Filipinos laugh? What makes Filipinos cry? And why do we share this experience? We often realize that what is so funny for us Filipinos may not even be funny at all for people of other cultures. In the same manner that what makes us cry is not necessarily what would make people of other cultures burst into tears. But it doesn't mean that we are any more or any less than them. It is because of who we are. And who we are is defined by the way we react, whether in tears or in laughter. In other words, stories are passed on from one generation to another because we are trying to preserve a certain mindset. Stories provide a sense of continuity for generations. Although, times may change and values may evolve, but the core of who we are is still our culture, and that is being Filipino. Stories in the here and now are shaped by stories in the past. We wouldn't be here if it were not for all the experiences that our parents, our grandparents, and our history provided us. The Filipino of the here and now is a summation of all the collective experiences we have gone through decades of history. Therefore, from repetition comes tradition, and by repeating the same stories over and over again, the narratives become, more than just a part of a tradition. I mean, it becomes who we are. It embodies everything that we represent. And that is why never underestimate the power of your stories. Never underestimate the power of the stories you tell and share, because it shows so much of who you are, and you give so much of yourself for every story that you write and every story that you read.